Welcome back to the weekly yarns. For those of you new, my name's Barry. Been a while, hasn't it, since we released a yarn. I think the 30th of April was the last time we did a yarn, and the 5th of May was the last time we did a video. Just we've been so busy, and we got to that stage where we thought the end of lambing was coming, things were going to improve, we were going to get back on track straight up the day, doing my videos and doing my weekly yarns. Well, life's funny, isn't it? It just keeps throwing you curveballs all the time, and we got lambing over with, and things health-wise for my mother just took a big downturn, and now we're running back and forth to hospitals too. She's in a palliative care ward in one of our local hospitals here at Ackligton. So we're running back and forward, seeing her and trying to sort bits and pieces out. But anyway, some other events. Gemma decided that now was the time to have a lifestyle change. And to be honest with you, farming isn't a career, it's not a job, it's a lifestyle, isn't it? And Gemma decided it was now time to change and do other things with our life. So we've been really, really busy. We've been up the Mart several times. I've got some video here of a Mart on yesterday, Saturday, because this is Sunday. So we got a Mart yesterday where implements and tools were for sale. And we had, up there Gemma had lots and lots of bits and pieces, the tractor, trailers, bedding machines, feeders, fences. By fences I mean like hurdles and pole and veil type fences that we put into sheds to create pens inside sheds. The cattle left on the 16th, got sold on the 17th. The sheep, the lambs are all out in the fields, but as soon as they get any size and weight on them, they'll be all gone as well. Just leaving the farm totally. She is moving to another house with a bit of land, and I think she's taken with her about a dozen or so pet lambs or pet sheep that were her pet lambs when they were 2-3 years ago, just as lawnmowers to keep the grass down up there for her. But anyway, other things that's been taking my time up. We have been getting bits done. We've had a big reshuffle in the garage, because I had to be able to get to paint, and in order to get to paint we would have to create space at the front of the garage, because the way the weather is here in the UK, you cannot paint outdoors. It could be like this one minute, it could be pouring rain, and that's happened to me before with a diesel tank. I painted the diesel tank in the garage, brought it outside to let it air off a touch, went in for a cup of tea, come out, it was pouring rain. Just totally destroyed the paint job. So it has to get painted and left in there. Now you have to have places in there where you can hang it up. So big reshuffle in there. 3 of the shelving units went up to my mother's garage with the contents. Toolboxes got all reshaped. You'll see now. I'll take you for a walk around in a minute. But we reshaped all that, created quite a bit of space. And middle of last week we had a reasonable day like this where I could get some gear outside and create more space, and we got the footrests all primed up. So, and I think the next couple of days, possibly Monday, Tuesday, we might be getting, because they should be getting hard enough now, Monday, Tuesday we should be able to get some chocolate paint on top of them, and hopefully see we'll get them reassembled. I've got a separate video on them, but you will see them hanging up in there. The 3D printer turned up, a Creality Ender 5 Plus with BL Touch for levelling the bed. And we got these printed off. DB990 setting gauges with, on this one, Path of Discovery, on this one, Bundy Bear Shade. The one with Man from the Mist on it, I gave to my son. Now, The files for those are available on my Google Drive, as I say, Gmail Drive. The files, the STL files for all three of these are available on my Google Drive. If you want those files, drop me an email at manfromthemist@gmail.com and I will give you the link where you can download these files and print these off yourself. Now, obviously because I redrew these in a program called FreeCAD, which I was not really impressed with. And then you slice them and you print them. You turn them into an STL file. You put the STL file through a slicer, put the slicer file, the G-code file onto a memory card. You pop it into the printer, and it's a standalone printer. It doesn't need to be networked to the computer. It's just standalone. It rattles them off. I think one of these is about an hour and a half. I have got an STL file where I have a raft of these set up, 3 of them. So I've got Man from the Mist, Bundy Bear Shed, Path of Discovery, and prints it all as in one go. And I think that was about a 5.5 hour print for those 3 together. I got about halfway through that and the printer broke. The firmware packed up to the point where it wouldn't level the bed. The BL Touch was in constant error state. You cannot get a hold of, and if there's somebody out there that can correct me on this, please do so in the comments. You can't get a hold of the firmware, which was 1.70.03 off the top of my head. I can get 1.70.02, but in a hex file format, which is what the slicer program, Creality slicer program, is looking for to be able to upload to the computer in the printer. It has got 1.70.03 software there, but it's in a .7z format and not a hex format, and therefore you cannot upload it. But by all means, if there's somebody out there with a lot of experience on 3D printers and you can see something that I did obviously wrong there, please let me know. However, the printer got boxed up and sent back because, and I said weeks ago I would have messed on and emailed and bounced messages back and forth to manufacturers and retailers in order to get this solved. Right at this moment I thought, you know what, I'm not. I've had enough. This is 420 quid's worth. It's broken. You can have it back. And it went back. I've got here a 0.375 gauge pin. It's not just a normal piece of metal, and it's not a dowel. All right. This is a piece of measuring equipment. It was bought as a gauge pin. It's got etched on it 0.375. It measures 0.375 plus 0 minus 0.0002, 2 microns less than 0.375. That's how tight the tolerances are on that piece of steel. When I redrew this in FreeCAD, I made those holes print at 0.375 because I had every intentions of reaming them, and I bought a brand new reamer to make sure that it was nice and sharp and clean and effectively the effective diameter. And it is, because that gauge pin goes in there beautifully. Okay, like that. Now, so in order to check them, what I also acquired was a set of adjustable parallels. These are grand little things, these. You've got a set of adjustable parallels. I keep everything, like if it's measuring equipment, I keep it wrapped up like this and looked after. Well, you have to, it's like your micrometers, isn't it? You wouldn't use them as an adjustable spanner. adjustable parallels. Got a little screw here which nips the bottom one onto the dovetail of the top one. So you can set them, tighten the screw, lock it into position. So, sorry, I'm full of cold as well at the minute, as you probably guessed. So what you do, I've been setting these at 5 thou less. And again, off the top of my head, I think the first hole, right, we'll do it this way, and a pen. So, as I say, this is off the top of my head. The edge of that hole there to that face, I think is 0.437, I think. Shoot me if I'm wrong, right? But it might, I think it's 0.437. So what I was doing, I would set my adjustable parallels to 0.435 using a micrometer across here, checking them with a vernier, but I would set that to 0.435, and then get the next set of parallels and stand the next set of parallels in there like that between the gauge pin and the plate, and then rest that set of parallels on the top that way, like that. Now, it's 435, should leave a 2 thou gap, shouldn't it? If everything is correct. So you can get a set of feeler gauges, and you can get in there with a set of feeler gauges between the parallels and the pin, and you can do your measurements. They're spot on them, absolutely spot on, Sim. Ding ding. Next please. And we did the same, it was a repeat performance for the bottom hole. The bottom hole is 1.58, so you'd set the adjustable parallels at 1.575, 576, so then it would leave you 4 thou, 5 thou gap to measure. I find it's easier to do that than to try and set the gauge blocks to the right size and then try and feel by moving the whole gauge block. It's easier to use a small set of feeler gauges to get in there, and you can feel the interference between the two bits. So that's how we check them anyway. But let's say those files are available on my Google Drive. If you want those files, pop us an email, I'll send you the link to the files. You can download them, get them across to, hopefully you've got a printer yourself, or you've got a friend with a printer, and you'll be able to rattle them off for yourselves. Alright, and as you can see there, I wrap everything up, put it all away again, keep that safe, temperature controlled out the way. So we gauge pin back in the back, all measuring equipment I look after like that. They're not just lumps of metal. Now, it's an incredibly sunny day today. It's beautiful, isn't it? Okay, let's take you for a quick wander, and we'll see. Let's see that Machine Mart. Saturday morning at Ackligton Mart. I managed to buy a shot blaster. Me and this old fella bidding against it. £88 I ended up paying for it. 20 gallon. But the old fella won it at £88. I stopped at 85, he bid 88. And then we got chatting afterwards, and he thought it was an air receiver that he had bought, because an air receiver on wheels, because he was looking for something to pressurise, then walk around his yard and blow up flat tyres on vehicles in his yard. And I took him back to it and I explained him how it worked and what it was and what I wanted it for, what I was doing with it. And he very kindly said, well listen, if you want it and it's used to you in its way, in its format that it is now, you have it. He says, come on, we'll go and see the lady and we'll swap over the number on the purchase list for it. So I went to see Ali, and sure enough, swapped it over, and here we are. Right, let's take you and have a look at it, and we'll then take you into the garage and you'll see another up and coming video for the future. Saturday morning, we're up here at Ackligton Mart, implement sale on. Having a look around, there's some canny little things here today. There's a nice shot blaster over there that's for sale. Show you this little baler, lovely little square John Deere baler. Now remember, a few years ago, you would have picked these things up for a couple, not in this condition, mind, this is in an immaculate condition, but you would have picked these little things up for 500-600 quid. Now they're going for thousands again. Amazing, isn't it? Mind that is in good nick. That is in beautiful condition. John Deere 459. Little square baler. Nice low loader there. Nice little tractor trailer there. Who's that? Ivor Williams. With a loading ramp on it. Tyres have seen better days. Gemma's getting shot of her stock trailer because she says she's sick to death of putting tyres on them. Let's have a look through here. Gemma's bale trailer. Little implements. Couple of John Deere's there. Little gator things. Ford 4000. Navy Brown 995. Got all of its rust protection on here. Leaking oil all over the shop. Still clean though for its age. Can't seen better days, but it'd be a nice little resto job for somebody. Leyland. Gemma's tractor. Nice little JCB there. Cracking that one. JCBs are more useful on farms than tractors. If I had the choice between a tractor and a JCB, it would be, because they're just so much more versatile. So we'll have a quick look at some of the small tools there.
Mine's still got this back up the tractor, and I should drive up to the 125 with you. It's you that I'm working too. You drive a steamer like that. Well, be careful with your motorbike.
Right, so here we'll go. There's my 20-gallon shot blaster. I've had a bit of a play with it. I've changed the fitting here to be a high flow rate fitting. Which is all my connections back home. So air comes in here, pressurizes the cylinder here with your medium in it. It also bypasses here and goes down to the little piece at the bottom, which is the mixer there. So the air comes in the back, your medium drops into the centre, shoots along the pipe and comes out here. Little control valve there, nice little nozzle, dead simple. As I say, I had a quick test of it yesterday and it is putting medium out. All we've got to look at now is, has my compressor got enough pressure and volume to keep that running effectively? If not, we might have to look at upgrading the compressor. There was a one got sold at the Mart, but it was a 3-phase compressor, big one, £20. Unbelievable, unbelievable. I should have bought it just for the receiver. Anyway, let's have a look in here and see what we've got in here. Right, so I had to tidy up in here. There's 3 of these shelving units gone, up to my mother's with the contents. That's my little press that I bought, 40 quid. Go down to Redcar and pick it up off Alan. Great little thing. As I say, you can see we're getting away. We got up, so up to my mother's went the engine crane, the engine stand, the parts washer, 3 racks of these with contents, and we looked at it and just thought, stuff that we haven't been in for ages, but it's stuff we're not going to throw away. So we took it all up there for storage out the way. Now, see anything missing here? But while you're looking at it though, there, your footrests, primed, footrest components, all cleaned up, just cooking nicely in here. There's a radiator. This big lump missing here. Ta-da! Took the cylinder back off. You can remember in the video, the starting video of this, pop back and have a look. I'll put the link up here for you. It took a bit of firing up, and I thought it was problems getting the diesel through to it, and it turned out that it wasn't. It was a compression problem, and I knew it wasn't the block. The block's been bored. There are 4 new pistons, new rings, crankshaft reground, new bearings, so the block is good. The valves, I bought a set of valve seat cutters and I recut the seats myself. Then I lapped the seats with brand new valves that I bought from Ackligton. Oh, just reminds me, there's another little story for Ackligton there. So brand new set of valves from Ackligton went into it. I mustn't have done something right because the compression was down, slightly down on one cylinder, quite a bit down on the other cylinder, middle 2. So a couple of weeks ago, I think it was during the lambing, I had a quiet day during lambing. I thought, right, we're having the head back off that because I'm not going to get this built up anymore till I've got that solved. Head came back off, went to an engineering company at Newcastle whose engine services at Dunstan. Went to them, it's getting new valve seats put in, cut, lapped, head skimmed, and I'm going to ring up tomorrow, see if it's ready. We're going to get it back on, get that fired up again. Should, fingers crossed, should be sorted because, and as I say, I know it's not the block. The block's been bored, new rings, new pistons, it's not the block. Any compression leakage had to be out of the valves or the valve seats. Can you remember last video, put a link in here for you, when we did these and I was one missing because one of the rivets was incorrect? Well, this was a brake kit supplied by Ackligton. So I went back through me documents, had a look, and it was nearly a year ago that I bought these liners as a kit. And just as a chance, I thought they might be able to help us. So I emailed them and explained the situation. Bought this kit a year ago. It sat in my garage, never got used. Didn't get opened until today. Opened it up, I'm a rivet short. There's a photograph of the dodgy rivet. And the young lad, Ethan Priest, gave us an email straight back. And it was like, yeah, not a problem. We'll look into it for you and we will get something sorted. Give us a couple of days. And then this is sort of typical of Ackligton. You don't hear anything else until the postie comes. And he delivered me 2 bags of rivets. 1 bag long rivets, 1 bag short rivets. 2 bags of rivets. So Ackligton, thank you very much for that. It's greatly appreciated. We'll get that final rivet popped back in and we'll get that side of our brakes sorted out. But I've got to remember, that side we need to put the seal carrier in before we put the brakes on. But before we put the seal carrier in, you've got to put in the diff lock, haven't you? Now, me and Campbell Booth from New Zealand, we've got a bit of a bet going on here as to how many attempts. He says it'll take us 5 attempts to get that diff lock in. And I said to him, well, I'm not counting attempts, I'm counting the number of days it takes us, because it'll probably take us at least 5 days to put it in. Because apparently it's extremely awkward. So as I say, you can see we've created a bit of space now. Oh, my throat is killing me. We've got a bit of space, we can get some painting done, hence that lot all got painted in here, put up to dry. Hopefully they'll get chocolate this next couple of days, and then we'll get on with them final drive carriers, won't we? Right guys, well that's it for the first back weekly yarn after lambing and everything. As I say, if you want links to the STL files that I've got for these, drop us an email, I'll give you the links. I've got to write everything in a book, because if I don't write it in a book, I cannot possibly remember everything. So I've got to do me bits. So 2 up and coming videos. 1 is the cylinder head coming home. 2 is those footrests getting painted, semi-assembled, put back on the tractor and getting finished off. I'm not going to say an awful lot about the footrest because, as I say, I've got a video coming out and I don't want to spoil the video for you guys. Right guys, as I say, that's it for this weekly yarn. Thank you very much for visiting. As always, your time is greatly appreciated. But remember, don't overthink it. It's only nuts and bolts. Hopefully we'll see you in the next one pretty soon. Bye now.